Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, Horrorboy 465. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today I'm getting on to the fourth movie in the Dragon Ball Z movies, and that is Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug. Now, this is a film that I have to say, the more these movies go on, the sort of better they get. I would say Lord Slug is probably my second favorite. Dead Zone is really close to that. Dead Zone is my third favorite. Tree of Might would be my fourth favorite, and then I would say World's Strongest would be my fifth favorite. My favorite, of course, which I'll get to in the next review, is Cooler's Revenge. I love this movie. I was excited to see this movie. I could not wait to see this movie, and it delivered. It was great, and um, just was really impressed with this film. My favorite movie of the bunch, and they sort of get better and better as they go along. The only problem with Tree of Might though is that it had some really great action scenes and stuff like that. And the voice acting was great. Everything was great. It was just the fact that the whole nature aspect I didn't get into. Also, they didn't really explain a lot about turtles, but overall I really enjoyed Tree of Might. But Lord Slug, I feel, is a huge step up. It amps it up even more. The action gets even more intense. The action gets even more awesome, and you have an awesome villain, Lord Slug, and his henchmen, which I thought were a little bit more memorable than the previous movies' villains. You got, I believe it's this guy right there. Yeah, that guy right there. If you guys can see him, I'm gonna try and get him on camera. That little guy right there. He's a really cool character where he can grow these miniature versions of himself, and they go into someone, and they drain their energy. The rest of these guys, I don't know. They did okay. The rest of them are kind of typical, but this one's a pretty cool villain, or henchman right there. The one who can sort of make copies of himself, tiny versions of himself, and then they jump onto someone and drain their energy. Pretty cool idea. Lord Slug himself is pretty cool. I believe it's the same guy who voiced Captain Ginyu. Or at least it sounded like it was the same guy that voiced Captain Ginyu. But Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug came out in 1991, and on IMDb gets 6.8. And I feel like it deserves a little bit higher than that. It's my second favorite so far, Lord Slug, because it amps it up even more. The action is even more awesome, and some really great acting. Sean Schimmel was great as Goku. The actors who voiced like Krillin and Piccolo and Gohan, and I think the same guy who voiced Captain Ginyu voices Lord Slug. Did a good job as well. Lord Slug is a pretty good villain. The henchmen are a little bit more memorable in this film. Like the rest of the characters, I don't know. Besides the one who can like make small versions of himself, that's a pretty cool henchman. The rest of them are kind of typical, but I don't know. I just feel like they're a little bit better than Tree of Might's villains. And I don't know if I would say, I think I would say Lord Slug is a little bit more of a better villain than Turtles. But the movie is just, once again, a very fast-paced film. I want to get how long this movie is. It's about 43 minutes long, so it's not long at all. And I want to get the soundtrack as well, because it has a really great Japanese score, but it also has a really great English score as well. Like both the Japanese and the U.S. scores are really great in this movie. You got like 3 Disturbed songs in this movie. Like when I was hearing the Japanese score, it was really good and stuff like that, because you had Head Chala, you got one called Yana Koto ni wa Jinkidama, and then you got some other songs as well. But you've also got some really, really good, like, rock songs. Like, you've got Stupefied by Disturbed, you got Breaking Point, Boy Hits Car, you got that song Fear by Disturbed, you got Automatic by American Pearl, you got Seed by Dust for Life, Finger 11, Drag You Down, Boy Hits Car, I'm a Cloud, Elite by Deftones, Free Your Mind by American Pearl, Dragonfly and Step Into the Light, both by Dust for Life, First Time, Finger 11, And you've also got the main Dragon Ball Z theme song by Bruce Faulkner, who did a really good job with the U.S. Because in the Japanese version it's Head Chala, the American version it's more of it's more of like a really cool guitar intro and stuff like that, pretty cool. But yeah, you've got like 2 Disturbed songs, you've got some really good bands in there. Dust for Life, Finger 11, American Pearl, all did some really good songs in this movie. And also the Japanese score is really well done as well. I mean, Head Chala is classic. So yeah, you got some really good music. I love how the atmosphere in this movie is so freaking dark, and how Lord Slug, when he comes to this planet, there's sort of the planet starts to get really cold and stuff like that. Really enjoyed that aspect. I also really enjoyed how there's this thing that makes these dark clouds go over the planet. Really, really cool atmosphere, very dark atmosphere. And just thought it was very well animated, very well with the action scenes. Like I said, the voice acting was top notch. The action was just so intense in this movie. Tree of Might had some really good action as well, but they even upped up even more. That's why I mean, like, when the movies keep going on, unless they get better and better. The action gets even more intense, and the fighting gets even more intense. I believe you have one of the longest fight scenes in the Dragon Ball Z movies in this film. So that was cool. The ending fight between Goku and Lord Slug was freaking awesome. Of course, in this movie you have a false Super Saiyan, which Goku pretty much turns into a false Super Saiyan. Now, false Super Saiyan is non-canon. These movies are non-canon, so basically, I think like these movies, they don't take place. Some of them do, but some of them don't take place within the actual Dragon Ball Z realm. They're more in an alternative realm. They're their own thing, sort of. So I think this movie is non-canon, but there's a couple of them that are canon. Like I believe Dead Zone is a canon film, but I don't think Lord Slug is. I don't believe it's a canon film, because in this movie you sort of get the Super Saiyan before the actual Super Saiyan. You get what was not as like called today the false Super Saiyan, where Goku's eyes pretty much turn white. There's this yellow glow around him, and his hair stands up like a Super Saiyan, but it's not blonde. And it sort of is what they were kind of working towards to become the Super Saiyan in the Frieza saga, which is a really cool moment where Goku turns into a false Super Saiyan. Really, really great moment in the film. And the movie is basically about, at the beginning of the film, there's this news report that the end of the world's getting ready to happen. There's this giant meteor coming towards the planet. Goku and Krillin try to blast it with a Kamehameha blast. They're trying not to destroy it. They're trying to blow it out in outer space again so that it doesn't hit the Earth. But they're not trying to destroy it because they're not sure if it's bad guys or good guys on this meteor, or if it's by accident. So they don't want to blow it up yet because they don't want to end up blowing up innocent people and stuff like that. So they try to blast it back out of outer space. It doesn't work. They get sucked into it and knocked out. And meanwhile, the meteor barely hits it, like barely misses the Earth, to the point where there's like buildings crashing and bridges crashing and all kinds of mayhem going on. But it doesn't hit the Earth. It almost hits it, but it doesn't hit it. And you found out that there was this spaceship that comes down from it as it sort of goes along. It doesn't hit the Earth. And Lord Slug and his henchmen get off of it. Pretty much talking about world domination, stuff like that. Lord Slug is trying to get his youth back. So thus he fights Gohan a little bit, or Gohan fights his henchmen a little bit, gets knocked out. Lord Slug takes the Dragon Ball and goes to look for the other ones, gets them all together, and wishes for him to be young forever, eternal youth. And pretty much from there on, Goku and Krillin wake up. It's very cold. Meanwhile, Gohan sneaks out of his house to go and try to help the fight. He fights a little bit of the henchmen. Goku and Krillin show up. They start fighting the henchmen. You got this really great moment where a lot of really good moments between, like, I noticed in this film and Cooler's Revenge, Gohan and Krillin, or at least Gohan and Piccolo and Krillin, like they all have some really great moments in the fight scenes. Like Gohan's trying to fight all these henchmen off. you know, doing the Masenko. I think he does the Masenko blast. I think he just does like a regular blast. You know, he's fighting him off, gets beat up a little bit. Piccolo is beating up some people. Got that really great moment where I believe like it's either him or Goku. I think it's Goku. Does a blast and it hits this guy in the face, and like his face is all messed up. Not gory or anything like that because his head is like bent back, but you can tell it messed his face up because Goku blasted the guy right in the face. Freaking awesome scene. And you know, Piccolo and Gohan get beat up a little bit. Gohan ends up getting his energy drained by these creatures that comes from this character. Gets drained by this character's creatures. So Gohan is out of energy. Piccolo gets beat up a little bit. Goku starts to beat up the henchmen. Like I said, this one guy tries to stretch out his arms and tries to attack Goku. Goku just freaking blasts his face. And you just see his head tilt back, and he's just sort of doing this. And you could tell it really messed up his face. You don't really see it, but you could just tell because there's like smoke coming out of his face, and he just falls down. Ends up beating the other people up. I believe even Piccolo kills one of them, I believe. And then the rest of these henchmen pretty much get beat and destroyed. And it comes down to Goku fighting Lord Slug. And Lord Slug freaking demolishes Goku at the beginning of this fight. He throws him through buildings. He throws him into the ground. Punches him into buildings. Holds him up. Punches him. Goku's trying to do the Kamehameha, but he gets punched. He's getting attacked, and it's just an attack that was just, you know, no mercy. You know, he's throwing him everywhere. Goku's trying to fight back with every ounce of energy that he has, but Lord Slug is beating the crap out of him. And then, of course, Lord Slug goes to punch Goku the last time because he can't get any energy from his friends because everybody's, you know, frozen and cold because of how cold the environment is. So there's no energy that he can use right now. His friends are all hurt and stuff like that. And he catches Lord Slug's fist because Lord Slug throws a hit, and Goku catches it and turns into a fall Super Saiyan. And it's a really cool design where the hair's standing up, the eyes are, you know, whited out. He punches him, punches Lord Slug through buildings, breaks his freaking arm. And then, of course, Lord Slug pulls his arm off, grows his arm back, and takes his hat off. And you find out that Lord Slug is actually a Namekian, just like Piccolo. And he becomes a Super Namekian, grows into a giant version of himself, like a giant Lord Slug. Goku tries to Kamehameha again, but he punches him right in the middle of it. Goku goes to Kaioken mode, is doing everything he can to fight this guy off. And then, of course, he goes into Kaioken like times 20 or times 10 or something like that, and flies right through Lord Slug. You know, flies right through him. Lord Slug falls down. Now Goku has to figure out how to break this machine up here to make the clouds go away, so it's not so cold on planet Earth. And when he's flying up, Lord Slug tries to attack him. Goku does a spirit bomb, throws it, hits him. Like, it hits Lord Slug. He flies into this machine making these fogs, like making this like these clouds and stuff like that. Hits the machine, blows up. That's pretty much the end of the movie. And it's a really good movie. It really does amp up the action. The voice acting is top notch. The animation feels even more better. The music is awesome. Both the Japanese and American scores are both awesome. Just really intense fight scenes. The ending of the movie is really great. A lot of fighting. Intense fight scenes. And just overall a great movie. So if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug, or if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Z in general, I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. Even if you're not a big fan of anime, I'm not a huge fan of anime, but I love Dragon Ball Z. I watch, you know, Fullmetal Alchemist and Naruto and Parasite and Seven Deadly Sins, but I don't really watch anime a whole lot. But Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime. It's a show that I grew up with as a kid. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug, I definitely recommend it. And if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, I would definitely recommend it as well. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review of Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug. This is movie 4. And I'll see you guys on my review probably later on, if not later on than tomorrow, on Cooler's Revenge. Awesome movie. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.